Welcome to the Lost Truth channel. In this video, we'll share 3 fascinating stories with you, and your job is to use your detective skills to figure out which ones are real and which are fiction. At the end of the video, we'll reveal the truth behind each story, whether they're fact or fantasy. Story number 1, The Man from Taured. In July 1954, a strange traveler arrived at Haneda Airport in Tokyo, Japan. At first glance, he seemed completely normal, well-dressed and carrying a passport. But there was a problem. His passport stated he was from a country called Taured. When Japanese customs officials searched for this country, they found no record of it anywhere in the world. The man confidently insisted that Taured was real, located between France and Spain, and that he had lived there for years. When shown a map, he pointed to what we now know as Andorra, and was visibly confused as to why no one believed him. What made things even stranger was his level of confidence. He carried documents like a driver's license and work papers, all issued in Taured, complete with stamps and details that looked official and legitimate. The Japanese authorities were suspicious, so they detained him and placed him under watch in a hotel room while they investigated further. But by the next morning, he had disappeared without a trace. The guards hadn't seen or heard anything, and all of his belongings and documents had vanished as well. This happened in 1954, long before security cameras were around to help solve the mystery. Since then, the story has become one of modern history's most intriguing mysteries. People have offered 3 main theories. 1. Some believe he came from a parallel universe where Taured exists. 2. Others speculate he might have been an extraterrestrial. A third theory is that it was an elaborate hoax or a spy mission, with the man acting out a role for some secret purpose. But our channel has a different theory. We think this man might have been a time traveler from the far future. Here's why. Japanese researchers looked into Taured and confirmed there was no record of such a country ever existing in history. If Taured didn't exist in the past, it might be a country that will exist in the future. Even now, nearly 70 years later, no country named Taured has appeared. This leads us to believe that this man may have come from a time far beyond ours. Story number 2. The Last Party. Sometimes there are terrifying characters that scare us, but even those scary characters can have fears of their own. Look closely at this picture. Do you notice anything unusual? Maybe the creepy faces of the people in the photo catch your eye, but the story behind it is much darker. What if I told you that everyone in this photo was killed, except for one person? Hard to believe, right? Well, you'll have to believe it. Before we continue, take a guess. Which one of these characters do you think survived? You've got 10 seconds to decide. Not ready to reveal the answer just yet. You'll have to hear the rest of the story first. This photo was taken at a Halloween party in the United States in 1962. Everyone thought it would be just another fun memory, but it turned out to be their last photo alive. The night started with laughter and spooky fun, but something wasn't right. Midway through the Halloween festivities, some guests realized that all the exits had been locked. Suddenly, the room filled with screams. One of the attendees, wearing a mask, began attacking people one by one with a knife. It took time to kill each victim, giving a few people the chance to escape, but by the end of the night, 17 people were dead. 17 guests wearing scary masks who would never leave that party alive. The attacker fled the scene and was never caught. To this day, no one knows whether the killer was a man or a woman. The only thing left behind was the mask they wore that night, which is now in FBI custody. Now, let's turn up the excitement and figure out who among these people committed the crime. If you guessed character number 2, you're wrong. The correct answer is number 8. Before we move on, if you enjoy these kinds of mystery stories and want to test your detective skills, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. With more videos like this, you'll keep challenging your mind. Story number 3, Terror in the Depths. Imagine a warm summer day. You're walking along the beach, watching the waves gently roll in. Everything seems calm and peaceful, but deep beneath the water, a silent threat is lurking. This story takes us back to the summer of 1916 on the shores of New Jersey, USA. An incident unfolded that would change everything and forever instill a fear of the ocean in people's hearts. On June 24, 1916, a young man named Charles Van Sant was swimming with friends in the coastal waters. Everything seemed perfectly normal, but something was moving in the depths, something no one could see. As Charles swam near the shore, he suddenly felt something brush against him. Moments later, a sharp pain shot through his leg. At first, he had no idea what was happening, but he soon realized he was being attacked by a shark. Desperately, he tried to swim to safety, but the pain and heavy bleeding made it almost impossible. His cries for help were drowned out by the crashing waves. Charles was pulled ashore by his friends, but his injuries were so severe that he passed away in the hospital. What seemed like a rare and isolated attack was only the beginning of a terrifying chapter for the New Jersey coastline. A few days later, another similar attack occurred in the same area. This time, the victim was Charles Bruder, a lifeguard who had entered the water to assist others. It's worth noting that both victims so far shared the name Charles, so don't confuse them. The second attack was even more horrifying, sending shockwaves through the community. Charles Bruder struggled to make it out of the water, but when he was pulled to shore, his body had sustained devastating injuries. But the horror didn't stop there. On July 12th of the same year, a young man named Lester Stillwell drowned while swimming in the same region. When search divers recovered his body, they made a chilling discovery. Lester's body bore clear signs of a shark attack. These incidents quickly made headlines across the country, sparking widespread fear. People avoided New Jersey beaches, and the terror spread far beyond local communities, reaching national and even international attention. Authorities decided it was time to take action. Teams of divers and fishermen were sent out to locate and stop the predator responsible for the attacks. After extensive searches, they finally captured a large shark. Dubbed the killer shark, it was believed to be the culprit behind the series of attacks. Once the shark was killed, a relative sense of calm returned to the area. But no one could forget the silent danger lurking in the ocean's depths. The 1916 shark attacks remain one of the most infamous events in maritime history. They not only marked one of the deadliest series of shark attacks on humans, but also inspired countless stories about the mysterious and terrifying creatures that inhabit the seas. Now it's your turn to uncover the truth behind these terrifying tales. Which of these stories do you think is real, and which one is just a myth? Let's quickly review the stories. Story number 1. The Man from Taured. A mysterious man arrived in Japan in 1954, claiming he came from a country called Taured. The problem? No such country exists. He was kept in a hotel for observation, but mysteriously vanished without a trace. Story number 2. The Last Party. In a Halloween party in 1962, an unknown individual ended the lives of 17 people and then disappeared. The police were never able to identify the killer, but they did recover their mask, which is now stored by the FBI. Story number 3. Terror in the Depths. In 1916, along the New Jersey coastline, a young boy named Charles Van Sant was attacked by a wild shark. A few days later, another man named Charles Bruder, a lifeguard, became the shark's second victim. The carnage continued as the shark claimed a third victim, Lester Stillwell. To stop the predator, the U.S. launched a hunt and finally captured the enormous shark responsible for the attacks. You have 20 seconds to decide which story is true and which is a myth. Keep in mind, anything is possible. Maybe all the stories are myths, or maybe they're all real. Perhaps only parts of each are true. Share your guess in the comments section, but beware, someone might spoil the answer. And now, the answer. You might have guessed that story number 1, The Man from Taured, is a myth, and the other 2 are real. If so, you'd be wrong. All 3 stories are real. None of them are myths. If you have a strange or mysterious story, or a scary tale, you'd like to share with us, leave a comment below this video and tell us your story. Don't forget to mention at the end of your comment whether your story is real or fictional. Also, if your story is real and you have any photos, videos, or audio recordings to prove it, send them to the Telegram ID displayed on the screen. Your story could be featured in our next video. Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like it and subscribe to our channel. If you're ready to challenge your mind even more, check out our other videos. See you in the next one!